Hey, dear my brothers and sisters, my friends, and all my Eritrean friends. Today I'm going to talk about about the fact that we are in the middle, in the center of the world, in the center of the globe. So you got the term Mediterraneans. Mediterranean countries, What does it mean, Mediterranean? Mediterranean means mid-terrain. Well, I'm talking from coordinates point of view, like, all this latitude, longitude kind of coordinates, like, X, Y, Z, when you try to map things, find out locations, like, so you go to horizontal perpendicular. I mean, what was that term? The vertical line, Y and X. X is the horizontal and Y is the vertical. Okay, so that's how you find out the locations of the whole world. You pinpoint every location by these degrees. So what happens is Eritrea and the Red Sea, our villages, my friend, our towns, our sea, we are right in the middle of the earth, the center of gravity of population, culture, tradition, trade, everything, my friend. Okay? So that's called Sebet, gravitational magnetic pull, my friend. A lot of people don't know this. Like, I was always curious about this writer. I didn't read his book, but I was seeing from references, like, Mr. Obasgi. Is he Professor or Dr. Obasgi Johannes? Rest in peace. He passed away. I was just searching his book now from the internet, and I heard he passed away in January this year, 2025. It's really sad, like, So I didn't know neither. He was blind man, like, what you wouldn't say today, blind man. You say side challenged, like, so you wouldn't say that negative kind of connotation. You wouldn't tend to say, like, he's a limited man, like, disabled. So I wouldn't use that term. I would say vision challenged. Okay, side challenged, whatever name you want to give it to. So this man, he named his book Eritrea, the Pound of World Politics. I think he had something in mind, but it was always at the back of my mind. But always this war after war, catastrophe after catastrophe for 2,000 years ago, 2,000 years, like, more than that, like, never stops, my friend. Why? Never stops. Why? Because we are right in the center of the earth, of the globe, my friend. Racing, travel, channel, my friend, channeling all the trade. The goods. What happens is that, like, if you're going to make a business, if you're going to make your shop, your restaurant, or any supermarket, if you want to make it extremely very busy with a lot of dollars, pounds, euros, reals, dirhams, yen, every currency you got in the whole world, passing by, you put all your warehouse center right in the middle, in the center, my friend, in the center of the gravity, where every customer, consumers, people who are going to buy your commodities, your items, they just come in. Hey, how much is it, my friend? You tell them £5 or £10 or 1,000, like, hey, كيف الحال and هذا حلوة, tell you all the Arab people, you tell them, real, أدينا واحد ريال, dirham, whatever, dinar, whatever it is, like, you go all the Chinese people, the same thing, yen, you tell them. The Europeans, the Italians, tell them really, now lire, now it's called euro, the Germans, everything, like, right in the middle, in the center. Okay, so that's called gravitational force of trade, people traffic. So we are right near the meridian, that goes up to London, Greenwich Mean Time. Welcome our viewers, our listeners. You are listening, you're tuning our program right here from Greenwich from London, Greenwich Mean Time. So that's the zero line up from south to north, okay? So we're not that far from there, okay? So that's the y-axis, my friend, okay? So Equator, you got in Uganda, you know, the Great Lake, what do you call it, the Victoria Lake. So we're not right in the point where the 0, 0 coordinates of x and y meet, but we are a little bit up and a bit to the east. The fact that we are in the Red Sea, my friend, all the travel channels, traffic go by sea, Red Sea, Eritrea, ya habibi, you know. So all this trade channel, traffic, busy traffic, they pass through that, like, you know, right in the middle, my friend. Okay, so we are an equidistance between from south to north in the middle, okay? An equidistance from west to east in the middle. You get my point? So that's the central place. That is the reason why there is war after war, my friend. Everyone wants to grab that because we are central location, my friend. Trade. Distance costs minimum, zilch, nothing, my friend. Like, you know, zero, literally nothing. You don't spend nothing on fuel consumption for your doors or for your ship or for your frigates and, you know, for all these oil tankers, everything. Right there, my friend. Right in the center. No, it doesn't cost you. If it costs you $100 to get you commodity from Eritrea or Saudi Arabia all the way to America, you bring it to Eritrea and you sell it there, zero real, like, you know. It's amazing, my friend. That's a power of trade, power of commodity exchange right in the center of trade. That's really big mission, my friend. That's why there is war after war. There is war after war. Always try to terrorize our mind so that we get hacked. We don't use our brain because we don't have peace, my friend. We don't have time to think, to explore all the good things about life, about science, about our human anatomy, medicine, you know, surgery, all this space exploration, literature, music, art. You don't get space of mind to think about that. That's what they did, my friend. They was trying to terrorize you. Boom, boom. The Russians, the Americans, the British, the French, the Arabs, the Chinese, the Indian, everyone. Because we are right in the center, my friend. That's what it means, strategy. Okay, I did post you the strategic thinking, whether you have a vision about your organization, the point you want to reach, maybe in 5 years' time, and how you try to articulate and put one by step methodically. Okay, so that's called strategic thinking in management. Okay, the strategy of location, this most strategic location, Eritrea, my friend, Red Sea, 1,300 kilometers ownership. Somalians are next to us, okay, because they got the biggest seashore next to us. I mean, we are next to them, but ours is extremely strategic area. Okay, so the fact that I am from Bahrain, from Arad, from Adria, maximum 40 kilometers straight. If you bridge our distance from our village right over Hadas to Foro, straight line bridge like this suspension is maximum 40 kilometers. Even half an hour distance, my friend, by bicycle, you know, to the sea. So you do all your farming, you produce, okay, from our local area farms, from every village that we have in our area. You sell all our commodities, vegetables and fruits, cereals, everything that we have, meat and poultry, everything. Within half an hour is in Zula. Then it ships off you go, my friend, to Beijing, Shanghai, to Delhi, Tokyo, USA, England, London, Paris, Rotterdam, everywhere in Rome, Genoa, Venice, everywhere, my friend. Minimum expense of fuel consumption, right? That's big blessing, my friend. That's richness, economy after economy. That's what makes us extremely very rich people. Maximum 4 million people in the country, maybe 3 million. All of us added together 5 million, 125,000 square kilometer, means we are extremely resource rich people, my friend, in terms of land, agricultural space, everything. Like, you know, so we're talking about minimum, 100 kilometer per each head for one person. Big man would farm, would see everything. Like, just to give you a comparison, in England, I think they got 50 million population, maybe. So their area space is the same exactly like Eritrea. So it's making them extremely very poor, resource scarce, poor people. So I don't want them to be angry, okay? So this is what means we are very rich, right in the center of the earth, where you produce your commodities from your farm, everything is service, everything, right there, 1 hour, it ends everywhere, okay? But if you produce in UK, to send it from UK, okay, where North Sea to China, India, passing from our village, it costs them a lot of money. So if they are to compete with our agricultural produces that I do produce in Meridean village, and one farmer from London or from Leeds, wherever in in the Midlands in the UK, so if it costs me £1 to send to China, the Englishman in the UK costs him £100. So that's why they go all these subsidizing, import for all the farmers, okay, to export. So that's power, my friend. That's strategy of location, my friend. Strategical country. That's what's making us the richest people on the globe, right at 00xy coordinates of the earth. Equal distance from south to north in the center, from west to east in the center, 00xy coordinates, okay? Okay, well, I'm trying to give you the closest approximation. So that's what makes us Mediterranean location in my village, right in the Red Sea, in my town, Āneus, Asmara, everything, Masawa, Nozula. Mediterranean. What it means is we are the Mediterraneans. So these people in the Mediterranean countries, Portugal, Spain, Israel, Syria, Palestine, Italy, they're not, my friend. They're out north, too far from the Mediterranean area. So we are the people of the Mediterraneans, my friend, okay? So because the Romans, they didn't know the geography very well, they call it Mediterranean, because they didn't know the distance that takes from Eritrea, the center of the earth, to China, because they didn't discover that time China, From China, they didn't know. They thought Mediterranean means I think it's in the middle of the land. That's what it means, okay? Mare Mediterrāneum is a Latin word, okay? In the middle of the land of the whole globe, of the world. That what means Mediterranean. I mean, you see, you get my point? Now they got it wrong. We are the Mediterraneans, my friend. I think they should change the dictionary, All these Portuguese people, Spanish, everything, they should stop talking themselves they're calling themselves Mediterraneans. We are the Mediterraneans, my friend, okay? I think we have to tease them always. But this is factually wrong, my friend. There's a fallacy of thought. We are the center of gravity, of trade location, right there in Red Sea, in my village, in my town, everything, my friend, okay? So because I wanted to share, all this mystery, the reason why there is war after war, they will never leave in, and it will never stop. And the way we get around this is we always have to be updated, always be smart, very alert, always study, keep updating ourselves, always fit and ready intellectually, mentally, physically, my friend, okay? So that's what it means being a general. Every Eritrean has to be a major general, okay? Intellectually, always ready, okay? That's not militaristic, but obviously internal, my friend. Always fit in terms of trade savvy, being business savvy, the world thinking world now. That is the condition of ownership of the title called Mediterranean Eritrea. Okay, so I just want to give you the brief history how they came the name. So this Mediterranean name was coined by the Romans in the third AD. Okay, but the geographer who made it very famous was called Solinus. I'll put it the link everything on my profile. Okay, in my Facebook on my YouTube. So this is how it was. So I think they used to call it Mare Mediterrāneum. So the Iranians, the Persians had their own version of the name. They used to call it White Sea. I mean the Romans. I mean the Syrians, the Israelis, the Jewish, everything. So, but it's all about the location, which is completely wrong. Nothing to do with that. Okay, the Mediterranean. So okay, the right wording, in the middle of the land, middle of the land. Okay, in the center of the land. Zoba Makel, as we say in Turin. So we are Eritrea, Zoba Makel as a region. Okay, Mediterranean, Makel. Okay, that's our place, my friend. Okay. So that's the reason why there is always war after war, my friend, to grab that, to always control our minds, to always give us this fancy, artificial, this bling bling, all this glittery stuff. What do they say? Everything that glitters is not gold. I think that's what they say, isn't it? Artificial, fake thing. They always make us being impressed by this, brand designer, cars designer, clothes designer, everything fake, so that he get diverted to really trivial thing that doesn't do nothing to you, because they know we are the center of gravity, the Mediterranean people, Mediterranean of land, really comfort zone of the climate, the weather, the sea, warm sea, 365 sunshine, lovely looks, my friend, everything. That's what it means Mediterranean, my friend. Okay, Eritrea, the Red Sea. Okay, center of trade, busiest traffic, like this North Sea they have in the west from the Atlantic Ocean. But we are much than that, my friend. Okay, much more than that. So that's what means Mediterranean. Okay, middle, terrain of all geography, location. Okay, Mediterranean means Eritrea. That is the mystery of never-ending war. Well, we have the power to end the war. How? Always keeping updating our skills, always our creation, being patient with each other, being understanding, always never go to fight within each other, my friend. Otherwise, you are igniting and feeling the fire, then every politics in our country just goes right, bus, fire after fire, all these Australian bushfires that go, okay? So that's how we stop the fire, the war, my friend, right here, like this, the gin, the fact, okay? The fortress right in our brain. They always fight us with an ideology, and we study. We don't need all this nafa, my friend. We don't need den. We don't need Masawa war. We don't need Adriyah second war, my friend, okay? Nothing. We don't need about war. It's gone. Now the war is right here in the middle of London, New York, Washington, everywhere where you're living, okay? That's trade. They try to hack and take all your mind away into something else, attention. They grab your attention and you lost, my friend. You are into shukushuka. We call it shukushuka. Integrating those people who are literally physically with you, but they lost somewhere. Okay, so that's what it means, my friend. They always try to grab your attention with a beautiful woman, with beautiful things, fancy stuff, everything, my friend. While you can ride your bicycle like an athlete, okay, more faster and more powerful than Daniel Kleiman and all the Marhau Kudus and Gramai, what's his Gramai, whatever, Binyan Gramai, what he can write that so that he can take advantage of you farm, you commodity export, richness, everything, and would have you get diverted and get lost in shuka, always driving that really clunky, stupid Mercedes Benz or whatever that's just costing you $50,000 or euros, my friend. Okay, that is war right here, my friend. They penetrate you, they really brine, then you lose it. You lose the war, my friend. Mushkila. So that's the thing, my friend. I have to give you some kind of humor to just, you know, to stimulate your curiosity. So that's the thing, my friend. Okay, we are right in the center of trade strategic area. They got this website called, I think, Mr. Dali, Eritrean. I think someone he's from Tigray or so. I'm not 100% from this Dalak area. He's got this website, like, you know, they don't put the right link, the right ideas to empower that. It's just there some, you know, speeches from our politicians, but they don't give you the nitty-gritty part of what we need. Okay, so this is strategical thinking studies, my friend. I'll put you all this strategy thinking, everything, like, you know, the contemporary management style and philosophy and idea that we use in the industries. I was involved in that kind of stuff within NHS England when I was working there, but this was something I was doing for so many 20 years, like, you know, literally. So I had all this spreadsheet, automating everything, link it with my data warehouse, all this factual information that we have about the operational side of the organization, the resources, the finances, the planning, you know, and I do automate everything within the spreadsheet, automating with all formulas linking with each other, and I do have the data warehouse, like all this, like this Greek oracles, they call them. What's the name? Pythia. She was a lady, like all this Aristotle, all these famous philosophers were, you know, her adherents, I mean, her followers. So you got this now, this Oracle SQL Server data warehouse. So oh, this is they call it scorecard. So this is about strategy. So you put all the factual data in a warehouse, Oracle. You kind of predict like all this Greek ancient mythology. That's not the case. Or this is like a more mathematical. You go all this quantifiable idea with your things you want to achieve, your vision, your strategy, your method, everything, you know, your tactics, how you achieve that. So that gets into military thinking, into trade, into competition, into everything. This goes into everyone. I'll put you the link, the theoretical aspect of it, because this was something I was doing for over 20 years, like, you know. So this thing, geographical strategy, location, trade, all these ships, probably around how many? 6,000 ships passing via our Red Sea, right in our nose, in our village, 40 kilometers from our village. So much trade, my friend. Cars after cars. All the Japanese, Chinese, all these European cars going to China, India, fuel tanks, you know, everything, all these big ship containers coming to north. That's trade location, right in the 00XY. Okay, that's called the Mediterranean, Eritrea, my friend. Trade location, center of gravity. I think I don't have to talk too much because I wanted to clarify and, like, you know, what's going on, and that's why we always have to be extremely cautious and wary, always fit, you know, intellectually, trade-wise, attitude, everything, like, you know, so that we don't get astray and, my friend, being slaves, chains mentally and intellectually, like, you know. So you got you have all these Israeli Jewish people, like, you know, always wondering all their lives for 2,000 years after they were beaten by the Romans when they come to their country. After 2,000 years, they built their country. You got like this, their visionary journalist guy, what's his name? Theodore Herzl. So he was saying, like, you know, because this is very important, I have to, well, I'm not saying, like, you know, the Jewish are right against the Palestinians. No, that's not my idea. But we Eritreans, the Eritrea that we got, it just didn't come like that, like this droplets of water harvest or rain from the sky, my friend. A lot of people, sweat, blood, you know, have gone to get that idea called Eritrea of dreams around right now, okay? So we don't have to be extreme, we don't have to be kind of like reckless and negligent kind of like, people, okay? So I have to give you parallel analogy of this fight the Israelis, the Jewish people had all after 2,000 years wandering through the whole world, subjugation, racism, prejudice, everything, my friend. So you got all these people, visionary people like this. I'm not saying I do support Zionism, whatever. It's not my point, okay? I'm not trying to put kind of like this side between the Arab, Palestinian, Jewish. But sometimes this, I mean, they are fight, they're hard work, like this, what they call it, Isidore Herz. So he was saying, like, give us a piece of plot of land. We call it in Tigrinya this little plot in the farm, okay? And we will make it the most advanced nation, the best, the most fertile, advanced society, nation, Greenland on earth. They recycle their old water, wastages. There's no drop of water left, my friend. They do farm in their desert, in the Niger desert, my friend, okay? Just drip irrigation. Whereas we Eritrea, my friend, we got a heaven country. All our country used to be a jungle forest, all the way to Zula, to the sea coast jungle with elephants, with the tigers, with the lions. They call, wow! Like, you wouldn't move. Where is it now? Nothing, my friend. Negligence, recklessness, carelessness, okay? So these people, they do their farm from nature and they distribute and export to the whole world. Superpower. Their country is smaller than our Gashmarka. Their whole country, smaller than Gashmarka, mind you, okay? They have an economy that is multi-billion superpower economy, okay? Militarily, pharmaceutical companies, service economy. That's called education empowerment, okay? Education empowerment. Whereas, because I did put the link for the scorecard that I did for our reality in our village, like kind of like a sample pilot scheme, so that we can use as a data thing. So because it's very important to give you that quote that he used, like, give us a piece of plot of land and we will make it the most greener developed nation on the world. Cats or little cats or any village, like, this is how really competent they are, like, always consistent, persistent, my friend. They will never sleep. That's the kind of mental setup we should have, my friend, because our country is it's a heaven on earth, okay? You go there, you don't even need a blanket, my friend. You just sleep watching all the sky, my friend, blue sky, all these, stars like a popcorn. I used to sleep in our front garden yard in our in our village when I was little, and you see all these popcorn kind of stars white in the night, and you hear all these frogs and everything. They just make you the noise like it's beautiful, my friend. You don't even need a blanket. So warm, so right temperature, 365 days. That's heaven, my friend. Okay, you live in London, you live in Western countries, Europe, Scandinavian countries. It's freedom, my friend. It's freezing. Even it freezes your body. This is heaven, my friend. So we have to look after it, my friend. Okay, intellectually, educationally, physically, in everything. Okay, so I don't want you to be very careless, because this is the things that I'm working so hard just to link things up, like, what it means in terms of trade, in terms of population health, in terms of education, in terms of defense, instead of culture, tradition, everything. Sorry guys, thank you so much. And I did talk too much because I thought this is going to be very relevant, especially for our kids. We made it in Europe. We work so hard, my friend. We are where we are because we work so hard, my friend. Perseverance. Okay. I'm not going to talk too much politics kind of thing. But thank you very much, and you have a lovely day.